Welcome to yet another episode, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a drill. We have a very, 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 very important mentor in the building. Before I introduce my guest, let me tell you a little bit about him. This guy is just the definition of cool, calm, collected. He's a developer by day, a G by day, and lucky by night. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the building. Master Lucky, thank you very much for honoring our request. For
Yeah,
the little
thanks so
guys
much
that
for
don't
having
know
me.
you out there, because maybe not a lot of people on earth don't know you already. Can you just introduce yourself to them?
Okay, so just as you have, as you've rightly said, I'm Lucky by name, a software engineer. So I basically build applications. I think my strengths in building these web applications is in building financial applications. So I think I'm like that's where my core strength is.
Okay, I'm listening. Sorry.
Okay. So also I also build other application like e-commerce and the likes, but I think I'm more of the financial aspects type payments, pushing one transaction from one place to another. Yeah, and all of that. So when it comes to banking applications, yeah, I'm there. I graduate from the University of Lagos, studied geology, currently running my master's with Smiva Open University. So that was in master's in information technology. So that's MIT.
Okay.
So I think I just completed my first semester. So going to my second semester. So obviously, as a person, you need to keep growing. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You're not even going. You're flying. You're accelerating. But we will get to we'll get to all that. Before we will get, you have been teleported us into the future. So let's, if you don't mind, let's peel back the layer just a little bit to when you're just this small. Your first realization that okay, I'm in this country called Nigeria. Your earliest memory of what society was, what your family dynamic was, what your
So can you speak up a bit?
your earliest childhood memory. I don't know what age exactly that will have been for you, but the earliest memory you remember of society that you grew up in, family dynamic, and just basically your earliest memory that you remember. So we peel the layers back to the little Lucky.
Okay, so my earliest memories, back then growing up, I think I was actually a lover of football. So I remember back then growing up. I think one memory I think I remember clearly is I live in school. From school, I think from primary school, yeah. Instead of going home, I think I would just sometimes I do sneak my boots inside my bag, and then from school, then to the field. And then going home, I already have that mentality that, okay, I'm going home to collect. Obviously, my mom is already waiting for me, like with a cane. So going back home, I already have that mindset that's okay. It's just sacrifice. So that's memory is very, very fresh. Like I literally do this every day. Like almost every day. From school to the field, play down to like 6, 7. School that closed, I think we closed around probably 3, 4. And then I'll be getting them 7. I know I'm going to collect Kano, but it's worth it. So yeah, growing up, that was actually crazy, man. That was crazy.
I finally understand your parents, especially mom. See, you're coming by 7. And this is like you at what, 5 years old or so?
Yeah, I was saying 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in Lagos actually. It's in Lagos. Orile Gomu. I don't know. It's in Lagos, yeah.
Oh, okay. And they were not like tired of constantly shouting and doing all of those things.
I think at a point they just they just got relaxed and like, okay, you know what, this guy wants to. That was actually one of my plan because I love football, so I enjoy playing football. So growing up, I don't joke with it. So I think it got to a point. My mom was like, okay, you know what? It seems this is like what he enjoys doing, and she just gave in and she just felt, you know what? Let me just leave this guy to keep up with with whatever it is that he's doing. But our own is, as long as you're coming back home, at least come back. Don't just stay there and sleep there and all of that. So I think it got to a point I was now instead of coming back 7 and all of that, maybe probably 6, 5:30. At least I would just play like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then just rush back home. So yeah,
What made
because
you
it was
change your
actually far.
mind?
Yeah, I think going back late and even the cane also was even becoming too much. So guy, I have no choice, man. So I have no choice.
What about
Yeah.
Popsy? What was his
Yeah,
opinion in all
Popsy,
of this?
man, my dad, man, he actually don't, he doesn't care really. Like he doesn't care. No,
So
it's
that's
not
where
like he
you
doesn't
get it
care, but
from.
he's not actually.
It's just relaxed.
Yeah, he's well. The thing is, my dad usually is not. Yeah, he's usually not at home. Like I think he gets back
Oh,
probably
okay.
10 p.m., 11 p.m. So many other times I'm usually at home. So yeah,
Oh, okay. And would you say your resemblance or your behavior comes from Momsy or from Popsy?
definitely my mom. Yeah, my mom. I think it's my
Okay.
mom. Yeah.
Okay, I see. And did you have like any siblings?
Yeah, I have. I have 2 boys, 2 girls.
What was family dynamics like when you were quite little?
When you say dynamics, what do you mean?
Your interaction with like your siblings, the dynamics of mom and dad, like how earlier you mentioned Popsy comes home late because of work and all that. Like also like what was your vision, your visuals of the environment and of family at that young age? Just so I understand like how you grew up, or just so we understand how you grew up and how things started to happen from then.
Okay, so in terms of my family dynamics, yeah, for growing up was fun with my siblings. The firstborn was actually a girl, followed by my brother, my elder brother. I'm actually the third born, and then our last born.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, growing up was actually it was actually cool. But my dad was everly ready to support. And my dad is someone. The crazy thing is, my mom and dad they're actually not educated. That's the crazy thing. But both of them just made it their, shall I say, their vision that all their kids must attend the university, which they actually did achieve, which even till today, I'm forever grateful, like to both of them. Yeah. So my dad is someone not so cool headed. He's someone that gets angry easily, but
Hmm.
yeah, he's actually there to support. And my mom, she's an amazing woman. So she has always been there for all of us from the one. Yeah. So growing up was to me, I think it was actually chilled. Yeah. I think I'm glad that I'm a part of this my family. So I'm ever grateful. Yeah, to God.
And what was like I don't know why I always ask this question because I'm curious. I have
Yeah.
friends where that their oldest is quite the age gap is so wide that they're basically like uncles and aunties at that point. Unlike me and my older sister, we are just 1.5 years apart. So it's just like we are just like
Wow.
powers even fighting and all that. So that's why I just like to ask that question, just so I understand what it was like for different people.
Yeah, so the crazy thing is I don't think my parents planned it, really. Because in
Okay.
terms of the age bracket, I think my sister, I think she's older than my brother by 2 years. And now this is where the crazy part comes in. My brother used 5 years to senior me.
Oh,
Why me, I used 4 years to senior my younger sister.
okay.
So
Okay.
that's
It just sort of
that's
happened.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just happened.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think there was a family planning
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Wow. And so after a while, you were playing ball, and then it became there. You guys have a sort of like arrangement. Okay, you can play ball, then you come home. How about your siblings? Did they also have their own things that they do like after school? It was just you cussing, rock cussing, and then
Now that was one crazy thing about. I would say it's crazy. That was one crazy thing about my family. Really, we we all went to different secondary schools. None of us went to the same like the same. Okay, I think I and my younger sister went to the same primary school. Then after that, in terms of secondary, we all went to different secondary school. So I don't know. I think that's actually affected us, kind of like especially now that we are all grown up. So I think it's affected us because we weren't that close.
mm,
Although we talk, we gist,
yeah,
but we are not that, we are not that close. We don't. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say
yeah,
because
I
we
get.
didn't actually, although we stayed. under the same roof. But you know, growing up, most of your life, I think they actually spent in school.
Yeah.
Going to school, that's where you spend your morning, and that's where you literally spend your morning all through, and then maybe your evening, and then you get back home. So in a way, we all went to different secondary schools, different primary schools, different universities.
Mm.
That was another thing again. Me now, I went to Unilag. Okay, I think my brother and sister, both of my older brother and sister, they both went to Delsu. So I think there was kind of like a disconnect. Sometimes whenever I think about it, that thing always comes to my mind, that maybe the fact that we all didn't go to the same school. Like, when you're going to the same school, you guys are going together, you're discussing, you're sharing things. So that didn't happen between I and my siblings. That didn't really happen. But still, I think we all love each other, right? I don't think my brother today now will call me for anything and then I will say no, or me, I will call him for anything and then he will say no. We love ourselves in our own way, but that's that closeness, because there are sometimes I will see some guys with their siblings, the way they chat, gist, laugh. Ah, I was like, man, this is nice. Although I and my brother, we do chat, so we do gist, we do laugh, but it's not so tight.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get.
I totally relate with everything you just said because I mean, of course, my siblings and I, we love one another. There's no question about it. It's
Yeah.
just that we probably go a week or two without even talking at all. But
Wow. Same here, really.
whenever we talk, I mean, it's just back to usual. But it's like everyone is doing their own thing. And I went to boarding
I'm
school.
telling you.
They went to also boarding school. We all went to boarding school. So everyone is sort of used to being independent. So I totally relate. Even now, my parents are like, we should call, like, you sent us to boarding school. We basically learned to live without you in a way. So it's like we are just used to being alone, sort of. Totally get what you mean. And then from primary school, what would you, how would you describe yourself academically in primary school and then migrating onto secondary school?
Yeah, I think I was actually brilliant in primary school. Funnily, there's even this story. Like when I was in primary 5. No, is it 5 or 4? Yeah, I think 4. So my parents moved me to another primary school. So I think there was a guy. I still remember his name because I think we chatted last year also. Yeah, Riches, that's his name. So that guy was like the star boy, and in my primary school then, top master was the star boy. Like when I say star boy, I mean first in class, like head boy and all of that. And then I came in primary 4, and I just bounced the guy. See, the crazy thing is the guy parents actually came to my school. Like they wanted to know like the guy that bounced their their boys. They came to school and then they were like, who is that? Like, who is this lucky guy that just came in and just. So yeah, I think on my primary school journey, I think I was actually intelligent. I was that guy that you go to if you need explanation for anything. I was that guy. Primary school, most of my classmates, although we are not so many, those small primary school now where you can have like maybe 8 to 10 like students in the class. So we weren't so many, but
Okay,
then
wow, that's actually very, very few.
yeah,
Interesting. Because yeah, that's actually really few. That's interesting. You are probably the first person that I've heard that from.
wow,
Yeah, because most of us is like, I think 30 is like the standard for most of us. At least 30, at least 30 in a class. Yeah. So even dividing chores between us, like clean, wiping. We do this in primary school. I don't know if you guys did this. Like you break like battery or something to make the blackboard blacker or something like that. That we do every Friday.
yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure, we did, yeah.
So when we
Sure.
divide all the chores, each
Same here too.
person gets to do very, very little thing, and we all get the job done at the end of the day.
Yeah,
And from there, you went on to secondary school. Now, the reason why I asked the previous question is because a lot of the people I've spoken with, the transition from primary school to secondary school is almost like reality check because we expect it to almost be the same, but then the schedules are different, the classes are different, the studies are totally different, and of course, we meet different people. So everything can be so unsettling, especially in the first year, the GSS1, I mean. So how was that transition for you from primary 6 or primary 5? to GSS?
Wasn't easy really. It actually wasn't easy because different environments, different standards. Going and this is another thing again. I actually went from a private primary school to a public secondary school. So you can say initially I mentioned that we are just 8 to 10
Yeah.
in my class then. So moving to secondary school, I JS1, I think we're over, I think 170. So yeah, we're that many.
In the old
It
set,
actually
right?
wasn't easy. So that, yeah,
Okay.
in the old sets. So that Starboy show, yeah, obviously was no longer there. Starboy, bro. So yeah, it wasn't easy, but then I think I adjusted. The first session, I think the first session I didn't really do good. I think because of I was trying to adjust, to the setting. But then Jazz 2, yeah, I think I picked up. At least Jazz 2, I started having friends and and people knowing that, oh, it seems this guy is good. I remember then during exam, that's how they were looking for me. Oh. Where's Loki? Where's Loki? Where's Loki? Because they want to sit with me so we can, communicate and assist each other then. So yeah, it wasn't easy, but then I adjusted.
That's very interesting. I ask that because a lot of us like we it's not easy for us to adjust, especially in the first semester of GSS1. The second semester, the third
Yeah,
semester, we get to adjust a little bit, but that first semester is always chaotic. Always
it's
chaotic.
actually very difficult, really.
And how did you funnel through the system now, going into the second term, the third term, then GSS2, GSS3? What was your GSS like?
I think it was actually straightforward. Like
Okay.
nothing, yeah, nothing serious. I think it was straightforward. Although I remember then I had help. Like I think I have some few friends. Then I think I still remember the Abdullahi. One is Toby. Yeah, I think those are like my close pals. Then that we we moved together.
Mm.
So, but I remember back then, like going to school. It was even crazy. Another thing is my school is actually very far from my house. Then
Hmm.
my parents do give me transport, but obviously, as a young boy, then you give me 100 naira. Trust me, I won't spend that money.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
keep it somewhere, and then I'll trek for like an hour. So I usually leave. Let's say I usually leave like 6:30 to 7. So what I do is leaving home. I'll just branch some of my classmates' homes so we can go together because you
Mm.
going alone, trust me, it's hell.
Yeah.
But at least if we are going with 2 or 3 other guys, yeah, it's easy. So that's like my routine. I'll branch Abdullah's place. From Abdullah's place, we branch Toby's place from Toby, and then we're going to school. So many a times we do get to school late actually. Yeah,
Hmm.
because it's actually very far. Like it's very far.
What I'm trying to understand why it was that far. Is there a particular reason? Was it the school itself or there was just another reason?
Yeah, actually no reason. I think it was someone that I actually introduced to the school to my parents. Then they're like, I think actually went to Jubilee. I don't know if maybe yeah, I went to Jubilee Grammar School.
Okay.
So it's at Coca.
Okay.
So and me, I stay at Orile, so you can see the distance. Like it's actually very far. So I think someone spoke to my mom then that no, I think we have some. I don't want to say roommates. We have some tenants then where we're staying.
Yeah.
So there were some tenants that their kids were also attending that same jubilee. So they spoke to my parents that it's actually a good school, and then yeah, so yeah, that's it. So yeah, I think we had like there was someone staying like the apartments that I was staying that also attended the same secondary school. So I think they spoke to my parents and that is actually chilled school, is a good school. So I was enrolled and yeah, I think it's actually very and another thing again, those the schools around those area then they used to fight each other, like where you have Sarigomu fighting another because obviously it's a public school.
Yeah.
So and Jubilee also do fights with other schools, but it wasn't as rampant as the other secondary public schools around because there were still some schools. One of them was Gaskia, Kaduso. So those schools, hell. So going to Jubilee was like my only option of okay, you won't be among such circles
Okay.
and all of that.
I
So I
totally
think that was another
understand now.
reason why I was taking that path.
Yeah. That's interesting. I totally forgot that things like that happen. And back then things like that
Man, then it was
happened.
crazy.
Even
It was
beyond
crazy.
secondary school, even not universities per se, but even I this is sometimes some small gang from maybe Lasso or something will go to Yabatech to cause trouble or something like that.
It is there now. It's just that it's in higher institution as cults, like all those cultism and all of that. So that one is like the advanced. That's the advanced stage.
So that's probably the reason why you have to go to Jubilee all the way.
Yeah, definitely.
But your siblings, you said you guys didn't go to the same school. So did they go to a place that was closer or even further?
Very far. Theirs is even actually like this very far. My brother went to Surulere, SSS Surulere. I think it's Surulere Grammar School or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Then my sister went to Rikmo. So imagine from Orile to Surulere. Like theirs is actually even crazy. So my parents just took us far.
And this wasn't like doing boarding school. They have to come back home every single day.
Every day. Like every day. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Not boarding though. Yeah.
That's crazy. And I know that's really crazy. Is that perspective is I'm trying to imagine it, and it's not easy to it must have been difficult for you, or did you adjust to it over time?
Yeah, I adjusted. Because I wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
So there were still other guys attending the same school in my street, my compound, and all of that. So yeah, that made it easy.
Oh, okay. And moving from that phase, you moved on to the senior secondary school. I'm going to assume it was in the same school also.
No, not the same school. So we moved actually.
Okay, you guys as a family, you guys moved.
Yeah, we moved. That was when we moved down to Ikorodu. Yeah.
Okay. So since then you've been in Ikorodu till currently, till now.
I'm telling you.
Wow. What was that move like? Were you excited?
At all. Excited, I wasn't though, because we visited the place. When I visited the place for the first time, when you're visiting a new place that's there are like few homes in a very big space. When I say few homes, I mean I don't think when we moved there, like there was no neighbor now. We don't have any neighbor. It was just us. Everywhere, like forests. Like the back of my house is bush down, left, right, center, bush. So definitely not something I was excited about now. So I think we even almost fought my dad that we can't move on. But I see today I'm forever grateful for what my dad did, because back then we were staying in all these landlord apartments, and these landlords, some of them, the way they behave. But my dad was like, I think then he wasn't even completed with building the house then, but he said it was done. Like he can't take it, that we just have to move on. And the schooling situation, that was much closer than the previous experience. That's it. See, that's the crazy thing. No, it wasn't close. That's the crazy thing. It wasn't. Still far. I'm telling you, still far. So, yeah, it wasn't close at all. See, sometimes thinking about it, like today, and then seeing that I was trekking from my house to the school, I almost see it as being impossible, really. But then I did that for 3 years. Like, because my dad would give us transport. Yeah. Definitely, my mom too. They will give us some money for transport, go come. But guy, I can't be taking transport when I'm hungry now. Although they'll give us money for food, but usually not enough. Yeah. And sometimes so the idea is just to you stack up the money for a week just to buy one incredible thing. Yeah. Now you get it. Yeah. Interestingly, I don't know, growing up, the things that my parents never bought for us. So those are the things that entered my eyes, like Friday. It was mainly food, not even toys. I never bought toys. It was mainly food, like fried yam and like the fried sauce, things like that. Because at that time, when I was still very young, Nigeria was still good, so Naira was still good. So that time, five big pop-up was 5 Naira. So imagine on a Friday, you save up maybe 5 Naira, and then you have 20 Naira, because they give us 10 Naira per day. You have 20 Naira, you now buy multiple fried yam with akara, with pop and all that. As in like you just eat. And like I remember back then. That's I'm telling you. And I remember back then there's this thing I usually get, this MP3. Man, I love listening to music. And that thing doesn't last long. Like, bro, you can get this thing today and next week it will be bad. Now I have to save up again. So then I was buying them. You know, this it's called Palito.
Yeah, I know
This
Palito.
MP3
Yeah,
that we used
yeah.
to, yeah, used to listen to radio and every, I mean, then I was a fan. I was buying that thing like back to back to back.
Wow.
Oh God, yeah.
What was senior secondary school like? Now it's totally different from junior secondary school. Now you have to start thinking of things like, what exactly do I want to do? Because then your study plan correlates more with all that. You are a little bit more focused academically, unlike GSS3 that for most of us is just cruise.
Yeah.
What was that dynamic like from junior secondary school to senior secondary school?
Yeah, senior secondary school was quite chilled. Yeah, it was quite chilled. I remember, yeah, it was chilled really. It wasn't as tough as the junior secondary school really. I think the senior secondary. I remember back then I was also the class captain also in my SS1 to 3. So it was actually chilled for me. I think I was good. I was actually very good academically, especially with mathematics. Like I remember back then I loved mathematics. Like I was so good when it comes to calculations, analytics, and all of that. I love statistics. Senior secondary school wasn't. Yeah, it was just like from the blink of an eye, I was done. SS1 to SS3, and that was it.
Huh. Nothing memorable, nothing distinct.
Yeah, there's some few memories. Went out for some few competitions. You know these school competitions now, secondary school against secondary school. Also I love football, so also played football with other schools. Inter sports. Yeah, when it comes to sports, I think I was actually good. I was a good runner then. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but I was more of the football type. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was more of the football type. Really,
Yeah.
the athletics parts. I'm just there. Maybe let's say I go for a race, maybe fourth or fifth, sure. Yeah. So yeah, that's so good.
Yeah. I think all of this translates actually to the lucky we came to know in Unilag because you're quite good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
I mean, looking at you compared to me, that I didn't really do any sport. I was looking at you guys as actually really, really athletic guys because you guys
Yeah.
represented the class. Yeah, because I didn't do any of those things. So you guys represented the class, played the competitions. And it was fierce. I was looking at you guys like, wow, how do you guys do what you do? It was amazing. Really. Trust me, it was
Yeah, it
amazing.
was.
But was there a particular thing you had in mind you wanted to study from senior secondary school? Did you have any idea at that point?
I think I was part of the, should I say, millions of children that always have this medical doctor from childbirth. Yeah, medical doctor, medical. I think I was one of them. So I was more of the medical doctor, medical doctor, medical doctor while growing up then. So yeah.
Me, I wanted to be an engineer only because at that time I only knew one engineer, and that was my uncle. And I just liked the vibes of my uncle. So I was like, I want to study what my uncle studied. Yeah. It was interesting when for the first time I saw you, I saw Chukudalu. I think we met for the first time in 200 level.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the first time in 200 level. I just saw a lot of people, but people like you and Chukudalu, though you guys are low-key in a way, you guys always have this vibe of people flocking around you. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
Was it like that also in secondary school?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, it was actually. It was. I said something like I was actually the class captain in my school.
Yeah.
So in my class. So then, man, I have like a lot of friends. Not only the way secondary school operates. It's usually separated where you have the science departments, arts departments, commercial departments. So then I was friends with guys in arts, guys in sciences, guys in commercial departments. So I was actually, so I'm this, I don't know. I think I'm this I don't want to say open book, but I'm this free spirited guy. Like I don't hold grudges. I'm chilled. Me, I don't care about your class or my class, or when I say class, I mean your level. If maybe you're a big guy or no, I don't care about all those things.
Yeah.
So me, I see you for who you are. I talk to you, I relate with you, and I think that's actually helped me moving to the to university. And I can meet someone today now. I will just talk for, let's say, 5 minutes or something. and before you know, next week we are close friends.
Yeah.
And it's not like we knew each other from start or something. So I'm actually that guy, and in a way, it's actually helping me also at
Yes.
my place of work.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Because I tend to notice people like you. Because me, I'm just like an introvert. I'm just in my own little corner. But I just was like, that guy has this almost perfect balance of people noticing him and is in different mixes with different people, flowing well socially. But he's also reserved. He's also a guy that keeps to himself.
yeah, that's
Like that balance is I literally don't know any other person that is like that. Because Chukwudalu is almost like that, but it's not quite like your own. It's like you can be so reserved sometimes that you can be almost invincible, almost because people still people still flock with you and all that. So that's one of the things I really notice about you. And I think, as you said, till today, that also helps you to be in different spaces. And also
yes,
to
yes.
sometimes when you need time for yourself, you lock in and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And you transition on now to Unilag. Now from Ikorodu to Unilag, that's also quite a journey. Is it the popularity of Unilag that made you attracted to Unilag, or it was something else coincidentally that got you to Unilag?
Sorry, come again. I didn't get that. Come again.
You chose the University of Lagos when after leaving secondary school.
Yes.
I'm trying to understand
Yeah.
what made you pinpoint Unilag. Was it the popularity of University of Lagos, or there was a more specific reason, or it was just coincidence at the end of the day?
Okay, so not really popularity. I said something. My siblings they went to Deso.
Yeah.
So me, obviously, I think I should also still go to Deso because seeing that it was easy for them getting admission and all of that because that's actually my state of origin. But my dad then had a friend. There's this friend of his in Unilag who's actually a professor. So the woman was the one that spoke to my dad that okay, you know what? I know your first and second kids they went to Deso. Okay, let's Lucky come to Unilag. So she was actually the one that prompted me. So the crazy thing is, I said something that I was the medicine, the medical doctor type also.
Yeah.
So I think it was the lady that actually suggested. I was like, okay, you know what? There's this course called geology. Go read about it and tell me what you think. So then I went back. I did one or two research. Yeah, and I called her and I told her that I think I'm cool with at least that's a really good course. I mean, in a way, I think it was actually easy changing my mind really because that medical doctor was just something that was just saying in my head, not something I was actually serious with. But it's just growing up. Oh, what do you want to become when you grow up? A medical doctor. It was very easy to just say it out, but it wasn't something that I was actually looking forward to. So I wasn't really sure. So when she mentioned geology to me, it was the moment I read about it, I just accepted it like immediately. And yeah, so it was that professor then that prompted me, going with Unilag.
So outside of medical, because that's mostly what's been on your mind all of this time. What exactly about geology prompted you to change? What specifically about geology prompted you to go into geology?
One thing is when I was doing my research then another thing is money. When I saw that geologists, oil company and everything, man, I was like, bro, geology it is, man.
Yeah.
So it was actually easy sticking with it. It's not like I wanted like my goal was to be looking for rocks or I wanted to know more about the earth.
Yeah.
Well, not really. I was sincere. I just saw it and I was like, okay, you know what? These are the guys that they work in these top guys, Shell, Chevron. And definitely now it's something I want to obviously I would like to do it now. Let me also be working in Shell, Chevron and the likes. So yeah, because these are names that we know growing up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's fascinating. And you only applied to University of Lagos, or you also had other choices when you were applying?
I think it was just Unilag. The other choice was just select for selecting sake.
Wow, then you must have been really brilliant. One university, one course, and then you just fired in immediately.
It's not like I was brilliant, bro. You
That's
know when you
brilliant.
okay,
Oh.
let me just no really. So I think the thing is yeah, that's parts, but I think the thing is it was more of the connection that I had in Unilag then. You know, having someone like a professor in Unilag, and then she already made it clear to me that guy, don't worry, just go and write your jam, and yeah, you get him.
Okay. Okay.
So I think that made me, in a way, I was even relaxed. Like writing my jam, I wasn't even shaky. I actually did well, like in my jam. That was even the funny thing. I actually did really well. Like I did good. So she was actually very impressed. But then I already have this mentality that professor is there. So yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. uh, it's quite interesting because that's really amazing. You have no idea how amazed I am because my own journey is like this, like this, like this. Then I went my crash after that was even under the ground. Sef. It wasn't even I didn't even crash at the ground
Wow.
because I failed JAMB twice, and then I went
Mm.
to OAU to write the exam. I failed. I went to IFE to write. I failed. I went to Abeokuta to write. I failed. Where did I go again? I went to Akure. I failed again. That year was just so depressing. And then I
Wow.
tried again the next year to write them. I failed again. Then my mom was like, "Well, how about we apply for diploma?" Then we applied for diploma. I failed. Like it was just interesting. And so now you see why I'm so amazed by your story. You just apply for JAM, you wrote the exam, and then you just got it
Yeah,
like
I
that.
know, right? Like it's
That's really amazing.
yeah. Another thing is actually grace of God. Really, I think it's just the grace of God too, because it's not like I was that like brilliant or something. Yeah, but then I also have that confidence that you know what I'm going to get in. I was actually relaxed. I remember back then when I did my jump and everything. I was working then. I was working in one of these factories. Yeah, so then I wasn't bothered. I don't know why, but I wasn't bothered. I was just relaxed that everything is going to work out, and yeah, it did.
That's amazing. Hats off to you, honestly. I'm so impressed. And then you came
Yeah,
um in the 100 level. Now, of course, you are used to changing environment. I mean, from your GSS,
yeah.
from primary school to GSS, from GSS to senior secondary school, and then you are finally in the tertiary institution. Now it's a whole different system because now there's a bit more structure, and even within that structure, you
Yeah.
yourself you have to also have your own internal structure to do all of that. How did that feel initially, especially with meeting new people, trying to find, organize everything, go through that motion? What was that like for you?
And it was actually difficult to like. It wasn't that easy because you know this is like the first time I'll be leaving my parents. Like I'll be leaving home to stay on my own.
Okay.
So yeah, it wasn't easy. It was really difficult for me. And funny thing is, I didn't really do well. My first and second semester, I didn't really do well. I think I was second class lower. Yeah, like my CGPA was around I think 3.2. And I remember then the professor then called me. She called me to her office, and then she was like, "What is this? Like, what is this? Like, you know where you're coming from, right? Like, you know who your parents are. Like, what am I saying?" And then she shouted at me because the crazy thing is, before my results came out, she already gained access to it. So before my CGPA was out, she already had access. And then she called my dad and told my dad that I should come and see her in her office. And then when she told me, I was like, sorry, ma, my result is not out to like, where did you get 3.2? That was I think my first semester was 3.6. The second semester, man, that second semester was bad. And then I dropped from 3.6 to 3.2. And that was when she called me to her office. Then she was like, you know who your dad is, you know who your mom is, you know where you're coming from. So what am I saying? And then when she told me, I actually agreed with her that this is not my result to that it's not how to. I think the following week the results then came out and then I saw it and I was like, okay. So it actually wasn't easy. Like I think when my 100 level when I started, I applied for hostels then, but I didn't get host. I think I didn't get when the first time I tried, and then I had to move to Bariga. Crazy thing about Bariga, I'd say I couldn't stay there for 3 weeks. I think I stayed there for just 2 weeks. Why? I was quoting with someone, my dad's friend. Then man, guy, that place is place is messed up, man. Like I think I wasn't so used to that. That we moved from Orile down to Ikorodu, and Orile life was a bit rough,
Yeah,
but not so rough. And then I moved to
which
Ikorodu,
was calm.
and then in a way I was living like a not big man life,
Yeah.
but at least we're staying in our own apartments.
Mm.
At least everything was actually okay. Everything was chilled. So now going to Unilag and then going to Bariga, guy, that switch was crazy. And then I think the first week that I was in Bariga, they were fighting then, and then I saw someone book Botsu trying to stab I experienced this live. Man, the following week, bro, I just packed my load. I just told my dad, and then I moved back to Ikorodu. And so it was a bit difficult
Really?
because I had to be going from Ikorodu to Yaba. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was going from home like every day for lecture, every single day. So it was actually very, very difficult. And I think that was another thing that actually affected me a little. So yeah, so it actually my 100 level wasn't easy then. And then God did it. I got an hostel then. I think I stayed in Jaja my year one. Yeah, I was in Jaja hostel in year one in Unilag. So yeah, when I gained admission, I think I was a bit stable. But then I don't know what happened that second semester. Maybe the courses were difficult. I don't know. Maybe. But then yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it
Wow.
was crazy.
That you see, this is one of the reasons why I love speaking with people. Because then I get a different perspective of
Yeah.
that on especially that 100 level life. You are probably the third person that I've spoken to about like this 100 level life. And it's quite a different perspective, especially us that we came from diploma. If our results from diploma, if it's that it was carried over, most of us will just be in terrible predicaments because we are all just new, basically kids coming from
Yeah.
university and from secondary school into the real world now. Like from university, you look around and be like, okay, now this is real. I did terribly, terribly in my diploma. I failed though, but for some reason, as God will have, as God made it, I crossed over, and geology was the only course. It was either geology or I go to faculty of education. Those are my only two choices. So I was like, no, I'm not going to faculty of education because of the reputation of faculty of education. So I chose geology. And then when we came in 200 level, and I was speaking with just a few guys, I was like, oh, wow, it is really a cheat code. Like, I feel so. That's when I started appreciating the little things and the big things also for my parents, what they did. That diploma really exposed me to life that, okay, you're not actually ready. You need to actually really buckle down and know what you're doing. And it was a reset. Literally, it was a reset. My GPA was wiped clean and I had to start afresh from 200 level. If I started from 100 level,
Yeah.
most definitely I've graduated with third class. Definitely. I was not escaping it. So it's really interesting when I hear like you guys' stories and how 100 level felt. Especially you that you had to now go back to Ikodu and also that affected things. Because me, my own memory of Lucky is
Man.
Jaja. Literally, like when I saw Lucky, it's just Jaja.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you had to go back to Ikodu and then come
I
back to
mean,
Jaja again.
it wasn't easy, man. It wasn't easy.
So what was that like when you finally got to Jaja? Of course, you were relaxed. You're like, okay, finally, in Jaja, and it's actually quite close to the faculty, so it's made a lot of things
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
Did it feel also strange, or it was more of okay, this is good, this is wonderful?
I think it was wonderful, really, because it was actually another opportunity for me to, freedom. Yeah, that's the word. I had that freedom of, doing things the way I want, going out, and then there's no, where are you? Where have you been? All those things now. So it was actually an opportunity for me to just explore. So yeah, going to Jaja it was actually fun for me. Yeah, it was actually fun because I literally have control over my life.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I really enjoyed coming to visit you guys in Jaja. I think there are some times where I'll sleep over or like on a Friday or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, It was you, my bees. I think Shedrack them were in another side of Jaja. Yeah, but it
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
you, my bees, and who else? Was Eames there at that time?
I think yes. I think James was in Georgia. Yeah, I think he was in Georgia there.
Yeah.
I
So it
think
was
James was in
quite
Georgia.
interesting too. I really enjoyed my time with you guys in Jaja because I'm coming from Shode, which is like one of the worst, not the worst place because there was still academy. I only went to academy
Yeah,
once to visit and I swore never to go back. Yeah, I'm glad that they destroyed that hostel. Really. It was something
man,
else
that was
entirely.
crazy, man.
Really
That was
crazy.
crazy.
Really crazy. And then moving on to Tondele, what was that like meeting fresh, Akara people like us coming into 200 level for the first time?
Yeah, 200 level. Yeah, I think that was the level. For me, I just had to sit up. I wasn't really paying attention to like the guys coming in,
Oh, okay.
like really. But I obviously when you guys came in, we met, we spoke, and we made friends. But then I was focused because obviously my 100 level was bad.
Mm.
Like from what I said about the professor that warned me sternly. So guy, that 200 level was hell. Like when I say hell, I mean guy. I think my life then was hostel, library, church, hostel, library, church. Like that was my life. I would wake up maybe to class, and then from class, library. Maybe if we are playing football, maybe we have one or two games. And I'll go to the sports center. But man, then I was so focused though. Like I was just so focused. So 200 level for me, post first and second semester was just like, should I say my breaking point? Like it was a do or die for me because I just had to meet up. Else, man, I don't think I was ready for what that professor was arranging for me because she actually really warned me, and me too. Seeing where I'm coming from, not like I'm coming from a very rich family or something. So, like I said, my parents they didn't go to school, so they were actually a bit struggling. But they, like I said, they ensured that all of us, even with their last penny, we all went to school. So me looking back and seeing where they are coming from, man, that's a 200 level. Man, I had to sit up, and yeah, I think I did good. Yeah, I think I did good then.
You felt immense pressure, and these are things I literally didn't notice because I think individually we were all in our own bubble. How were you still able to keep cool on that period? Because Lucky is just a guy I recall that is always cool. Always, like, you keep your cool, always. I don't think you've ever been in an argument or shouted at anybody, like, ever. And all of these things are going on in your mind. And in reality, yeah, I've never seen you shout. I've never heard of anyone say, well, look, yeah, so you are the type of guy that is always cool, calm, collected. How did you balance all of this? Because you have to overcome these things. And it's a true emotion that, you're thinking of home, you're thinking of your own duty to family, and to just take part in the responsibility that has been given to you. How did you handle all of this and then push forward to strive to be better in your own way?
Okay, so I think it's just my personality. Like it's just who I am really. It's just who I am. Like I think whenever I'm around friends, I just leave everything. Like I don't think about the home or something. I just whenever I'm amongst my guys or my friends, like I just forget about everything and we just I'll just chill. But whenever I'm alone, maybe going home or going back to the hostel or something. So obviously those thoughts, like I'll be having that, guy, you have to do well this semester. So many a times going back to the hostel, most of my guys will be going to their rooms. But then me, I'll just stop. Okay, guy, no. I need to go and read. And then I'll be going to the library. Maybe if the library is full. I think many a times I use Lagoon Front more. I think I love that is it that breeze that
Yeah.
used to come in, and then and another thing, I don't know, maybe it's actually weird. I can't read without having my earpiece on. Like I must be listening to something like a music, like while studying. So I don't know. So I think I had that freedom at that lagoon front and with the breeze, and many a time whenever I'm maybe a bit tired, the view also.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's just it. I think whenever I'm amongst my friends, I am this open person. I talk, I laugh, we gist, and all of that. But going back to the hostel, and I remember where I'm coming from, and I just have to sit up.
Yeah. That's even something as little as of course to you is not little, but people might just look at he went to school and he read which he was supposed to do. But people underestimate the distractions in university.
Yeah,
People really underestimate that. I'm not even talking of the obvious one, which is like, okay, you are in like me, I came from boys only school, secondary school. So from boys only secondary school for 6 years. And now I'm in university. And then there's the ladies, which I don't really get to see that much. I only got to see girls for like, if I had to put in all the total number of months for 6 years, it's like 3 months.
wow.
Okay, no, 3 months is a stretch because we did Christmas. We spent Christmas at home. So I'll say 6 months, maximum 1 year. I'll just so that was like an unexplored front for me,
Terrain for
interacting
you.
and yeah.
Yeah,
So of course I didn't like dabble in any of those, but it's in a way it was just a distraction because then I had to learn to interact with that world and it's unlike other people that are already used to that, and also a little bit of freedom also because now yeah I'm away from or you're away from the structure of okay your parents, structure of
yeah,
guardians.
yeah,
It's easy for you to just okay yeah I want to read though, but then my guys are playing like pets or something or this or doing that or they are just walking about gisting and just talking about whatever. It's very easy to underestimate the distractions, especially in Unilag. Unilag is known for
Mm,
the social life, basically, literally, and you
mm.
overcame all of that in 200 level. To me, that's quite incredible.
Man, I think yeah, I think that I think that's warning was my turning point really. That warning from the professor was like my turning point because I know she literally did everything possible for me to gain admission.
Yeah,
I think she also paid some of my school fees then. So the woman was she was
yeah. And did this behavior was it also just constant through 300 level, 400 level, 500 level till you graduated, or there were ups and downs or something that comes to mind during that period?
I think there were a few of ups and downs, definitely. Some of them was I think I remember back then when we were was it no not project. I remember when we were traveling then.
Okay.
Yeah, when we were traveling, was it in 400 level? Yeah, I think it was in 400 level when we were going to different states like
Yeah.
Anambra and all of that. Yeah, that excursion or something. Man, so then I remember then when they mentioned the fee for us, I almost died because man, I know my dad did not have that money. So man, then I was down, man. So I just remember, and then I had to go meet the professor, and then I told her, guy, I don't know how God did it. Though the following day, she just. I think the money then was over 100 and something, 110,000. If I'm not, or I can't really remember.
Was
But I
it?
remember the amount she sent. I don't, I'm not so sure. But I remember the amount she sent then. I think she sent 60,000 then. And I think that's literally covered like most of the expenses. Like, so man, that was one challenge. Oh. Not only that, I think many a times, even with buying textbooks and all of that, I may say I'm just forever grateful for her because, like, with her because I think she was always there for me, always there. Our goal is just for me to graduate and also graduate in flying colors. So yeah, there were ups and downs, but I think here and there it was more about expenses, but in terms of academics, I think it was up and down really. But I think that my 200 level, I think there was a point. I think my first semester, I think I was on 4 point something. Second semester, I think I was on 4.5. So that 200 level just boosted my CGPA to like maybe 3.9 or thereabouts. So 300 level, 400 level, I wasn't that serious, so serious. But my goal was just meet your 3.5 and then you're good because I think the goal was for me to meet 2-1. That was my goal. Just guy graduate 2-1. I was just So yeah, little ups and down here and there, but yeah.
Wow, she must have been an incredible person.
Yeah, she is. Oh, I even messed up because she called me. Not she called me. Last year. Man, I blamed myself really, and then she was like, "So if she did not call me, I won't call her or something." Boys, we are hustling there now. So,
Yeah.
well, we settled actually. So I had to call her and explain everything to her that yeah, I'm just trying to get my feet up and all of that. So,
I'm trying to understand why she went through all of this, particularly for you. What was the obligation? Why did she particularly go out of her way to do that for you in particular?
okay, so I think she okay, so so my dad was actually initially my dad is actually a driver. So my dad worked with her in Union Bank, and then yeah, my dad worked with her in Union Bank for a long period of time. Was it her or was the husband? I think it was the husband when the husband was the MD then in Unilag in Union Bank then. So my dad worked with him, with the husband then. So from there my dad got to know her, and I think maybe my dad drove her once or twice, and maybe she saw my dad and she felt okay, you know what, I think maybe I would like to help you or something. And then I remember then there was something she said like to me, like I remember vividly. She was like, "Lucky, like I want you to be the one to like take your family up there." That's what she told me. Oh. That I want you because my brother and sister, I think my brother and sister they were graduates, but they weren't doing so well then. So the woman called me aside and she told me that she wants me to be the one that will at least let me let me be the one supporting my dad, my family, and all of that. I don't know what she saw in me, but she said that to me like a time, and yeah, she kept her word. And from the one to see now, say funnily, even with the fact that she's actually calling with me, she still sent me links. She sent me a link because another crazy thing is obviously I know we are still getting there. Currently I'm actually a software engineer.
Yeah.
She's actually, till now, she still wants me to work in Shell. Like in one
Mm,
of those guys. Recently, she sent me a contact of an MD or a senior executive in Shell. Even recently, this January, not long. Yeah, I spoke to the man. The man asked for my CV, and yeah, funnily. So that just shows you how she wants me to succeed, like succeed and succeed, like. So yeah. So I think it was a relationship with my dad.
it's so amazing how some blessings that happens to us, you and I. It's just so amazing how sometimes you're inherited from the goodness or from the person of
Yeah,
from the character of our parents. Like so many
yeah,
things that happen in my life. A lot of almost all wonderful things that happened in my life. Literally, I didn't work for it. It was because of my parents. That's so amazing because even the first time I heard of Finland, a friend of mine told me about Finland, but it wasn't because of me. Oh. It was because something happened to the person, right? And my mom was there for the person. I didn't even know any of this was happening. I literally had no idea. And this is how interestingly in Nigeria, we are so good at keeping secrets. Like we can be going through something tough, something
yeah.
difficult, we just keep it to ourselves. I had no idea any of this was happening to this person. And then my mom was there for him, and other people also were there for him. But he never forgot what my mom did for him. He never forgot. And then he reached out to my mom and asked for my number. And from there, he made sure I came to Finland. So it was the goodness that my mom did for
Wow.
him many years ago. It's not recent, though. Many years ago, like 10 years ago or so.
Many years.
Yeah. He remembered that and he hung on to that. So it's interest is very, very it's like favor that our parents do. And then it comes back to the kids. So that's really,
Yeah.
really interesting. That's really, really wonderful. I applaud her wherever she is. And I pray that she continues to go from greater heights to greater heights. I really feel for her and I
Yeah,
just hope
amen. Amen.
that
That's the prayer.
the blessings she has done unto other people will do unto her and also our kids and our family and generations down the line. In Jesus' name. Amen. So may we move
Yeah.
from the prayer champion side now. May we enter
Amen. Amen.
life now. So you graduated, you made it. You graduated 500 level after 5 whole years in Department of Geosciences with our wonderful HODs. You
I'm
made
telling
it.
you.
And now you have to go for your NYSC. Did you pick Lagos or you just wanted to explore somewhere in Nigeria?
I picked Lagos. Why? I remember then we had this classmates of mine, Femi. So Femi was like, "Yeah, bro, I have someone. Oh, then I have like in case you want to serve in Lagos, so that's like he has someone that can work it out." So yeah, I chose Lagos. I am also so both of us we picked Lagos, and yeah, it's worked out. Funnily, like I served in Lagos. Even my camp. Yeah, well, do I say Mosugo, that Mosugo guy, don't mind him. The money that I even paid him was the money we are using to flex in camp. Oh. Imagine this guy collected money from me, and then we're using my own money to flex. But then I actually understand where he was actually coming from, because if that money was not involved, at least that motivation won't be there. Because trust me, you know how difficult it is for you to serve in like schooled in Lagos and then serve in Lagos. Guys, it's very difficult. Like
Very
it's
difficult.
very, very, very difficult. And it's very expensive again. So Moscow just did that for like just a token, really.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
Yeah.
I got Lagos. But something crazy happened. Yeah, something crazy, like very, very crazy happened to me then, because the place I went to register my NYSC, I think the guy had issue with the fingerprint machine. So me, I didn't really notice, but I know the guy tried like once or twice before it worked. So going to camp, I think the first day, guy, I thought it was it looked as a joke like from the start when I tried. Okay, they've done everything. Oh yeah, thumbprints now. I tried it the first time, guy, it didn't work. Oh. Okay, maybe it's my fingerprints. I cleaned it. I cleaned it multiple times. I tried it again. It didn't work. I think there were 5 guys attending to us then. Tried the 5 machine.
It
The
didn't
same
work.
thing, guy. I was there seeing our guys. I think some of our guys also served in Lagos. Gona, Chuka,
Also,
Tomisi, guy, all of them.
Fawaz, yeah.
Fawaz, they all met me there. Even the girls too, some of the girls too. All of them were just greeting me. We'll go now, we come, Tom Prince. He will leave. Tomisi, look, how far now? I mean, I was just, but I don't know why. But me, I waited, I stayed. See, and also thanks to those guys there, they were like, "Guy, just stay." So whenever we have few crowds, I will go back again. I will try it, try it.
And it still didn't work.
Really, you know what, guy? I was there from morning till evening. I think the conclusion was now that okay, guy, you know what? So yeah, start going no more. This thing is not working. You join the next batch.
Batch.
I don't know. Yeah, and obviously, joining the next batch. Definitely, I'm not going to get Lagos. Definitely, they'll push me somewhere else. So I just felt okay. You know what? Sorry, sir. Let me just try it for the last time, and then yeah, I'll pack my things, and then I'll be going home. And guy, I just tried it too. Guy, this thing just came up, bro. You know the funny thing? I wasn't the one jumping. It was the other guys. The guys attending to us, like all of them. They were just. I know.
Now, wow.
Guy, it was crazy because you know what? I've been there since morning, bro. I've
Yeah.
been disturbing them. Sometimes, like whenever they are like less busy, pressing their phones or doing something else, I'll go and meet them. That sir, let me try again. Let me try this thing maybe. So when the thing worked, then they all just shouted like, "Guy, see that night, guy? That was like, guy, I would never forget that day because
Wow. That would have
man,
been
that day was
hectic. Because
like the
even
other guys. I think the other guys came to visit me safe. I think Ugona, when he was on his NYC clothes, he came around. I was like, okay, how far now? Like you still there? I mean, guy, I felt bad, man. Like I felt bad. See my guys, like everyone, like just walking around, and then me, I was still there trying fingerprint issue. Man, that was crazy, man. Yeah, that was crazy.
very crazy. And your NYS,
I'm telling you.
what was that 3 weeks like? Did you only roll with
And
fellow geoscience guys, or you just because people who come from all over the country just to be in
yeah,
Lagos?
sure.
What was that exposure like?
NYC was fun. Yeah, that 3 weeks was. Well, I won't say fully fun. I think initially from the start, when I have at least I have some change. I think the first week was fun. Like buying things here and there.
Yeah.
I think it was 3 weeks now. Yeah, I think the second week, money don't they finish. Like there was no money. So it started becoming difficult. I think the third week I was just praying to just leave. I was just counting the days for me to just leave. So it was just like from good experience to terrible experience.
It's interesting that I went all the way to Abuja because they were like,
It wasn't funny really, guy. It was crazy. Oh.
wow.
You see that final weekend? I almost died. I almost died, man. I almost died. I think everything finished. My soap, toothpaste, literally everything. No money. And then I think the first week I wasn't queuing up like to collect those watery beans. Those are food
Now
that
you fuck
those are
up, now you
crazy
fuck
meal.
up.
I wasn't queuing up there
I
first
had
week.
to, I still had it too.
I know now, I know. But at least do Unilag boys now, do small. At least even if you don't get money, still do small
Maybe
big
it's
boy.
because I ate.
Yeah, do
Maybe it's
small
because
big
I
boy
went
now.
to
So I was trying
boarding
to do
school,
that.
so the food is not that great, but we still have to eat it anyway. So maybe that's why I didn't complain about
Guy,
the
the
NYSC
food was
food.
terrible. I won't lie to you. I don't know. I think okay. I think when I started eating the NYC food the second week, I got used to it. Yeah, it now became my favorite meal. Self. Third week, guy, I was just firing it back to back. I know, right? So, guy, I have no choice now.
Wow. I I
Yeah.
I I didn't really enjoy NYSC while I was in camp, but afterwards I was like, wow, I wish I experienced more. I don't know, maybe it's one of those things that just happens to everyone. You're like, oh, I wish I experienced more. I wish I spoke more to people, blah 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 blah, and things like that. Because me, I went all the way to Abuja. Because also someone approached my aunt, told my mom that she has a connect also, but the connect told her that I'm from Lagos. All my life has been in Lagos. That for that 3 weeks they are going to have to send me somewhere else. So and then he told my aunt to tell me that do I want to go to Abuja? I said no problem. I'll go to Abuja. So then I landed in Abuja. Then after a while, they were like, okay, they can work it back for me to remain in Lagos permanently after the 3 weeks. Do you want to come back? I'm like, because Abuja was just so different, so chill. So it's nothing like Lagos. Abuja is nothing like Lagos. I was like, I'm going to stay in Abuja. Ore Oluwa was with me also in Abuja. Opeke. Ore Opeke. Yeah. So Abuja was just different. I was like, let me just experience Abuja for 1 year. So I decided to stay in Abuja, and I I don't regret that decision. I think Abuja shaped me even better than what I already was after leaving Unilag. I don't regret that experience. How was that for you? Did that experience shape you? I mean, the whole NYSC experience. So what was that
Yeah.
experience like for you?
Okay, so I think it was normal because um really after university, I applied to a secondary school very close to my house actually.
Mm.
So I just walked it down to the secondary school. So it was just
Flex.
as if nothing happened. I know, right?
Chill.
So I was going. I stayed in my parents' house all through NYC. So I won't. It
That's
was just
flex.
like the usual. Nothing changed.
Flex.
Nothing
You have
changed.
no flex, bro. Like that's a flex. Like you just wake up,
Yeah,
super, and you just walk to school. That's a big flex.
yeah. My NYC was smooth. Like apart from the fingerprint issue, I think the first week in my local government when I tried, obviously, you still have to do your fingerprints. When I think what did they even call that thing again? So when I tried it there, obviously it didn't work. When I tried it multiple times, it didn't work. So they had
Again.
to take me to yeah, it didn't work. So they had to take me to secretariat. So I had to reprint. I had to do it all over again before. And the crazy thing is now this is the crazy thing. When I went for the registration, I wasn't the only one that went for it. I actually went with Omini.
Oh.
So we went together. So Omini was, I think it was posted to Kogi. Yeah, I'm in Lagos. Omni was posted to Kogi. So both of us we registered with the same fingerprints. Now guess what? Omini has to come back. Omini has to come back to Lagos. Why? The fingerprints didn't work.
Yeah.
Me, I was just lucky that I kept trying it, and maybe one part of my fingerprints just captured it, and then it worked. So yeah, it was man, it was crazy.
Wow,
So
that's
Omini
cool.
had to go with patch P. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember Omini was in batch B because I was wondering why. In the back of my mind, I was like, why? He
Yeah,
graduated with us,
I
so
remember.
why? Like I didn't really understand why that happened. So
Yeah,
now I know.
so I remember back then the place I was working, I was teaching. So Mini too was also looking for something at least I will be engaged in. So I actually brought him in. So we're actually working in the same school. Yeah.
Mm,
Like I know Mini then we are close. We're actually working in the same school. So I think it was on our way home. Although we are not in the same branch, I think Omini works in the main campus. So me, I was in the subsidiary. So I think one day we just decided that okay, you know what, let's register it together. So I had to go to is annex. I mean the main campus. So I had to go there, meet Omini, and then we both went to the cyber cafe where we registered for the fingerprints and all of that. And obviously the place that we registered, they had their fingerprints was faulty. And I
yeah.
believe both of us won't be the only one that had that issue. Literally everyone that registered with that fingerprints, obviously they will have that same issue. So yeah, it wasn't funny really. It wasn't
Yeah.
funny. So generally my NYC was generally was soft. So, yeah, it was very soft. I didn't do any. I was just so the only good thing is I just had more pay. So the school they told me that if you can work it, they gave me the letter. I was like, why going to camp?
Mm,
So the one is if you can work it to the school, we are not going to take down your salary. Your salary remains the same. Everything remains the same. So going for NYC, I had more money. Although then it was, I think it was 17.8. But at least then, adding 17.8, I think I was earning 30K then. So adding 17.8 to my 30K, man, guy, I was a big boy then. And I wasn't, there was no, I'm not paying house rent. I'm not paying anything.
yeah.
I'm not paying feeding. So yeah, then so my NYC was
Wow.
very chilled.
That's a flex, bro. Wow, that's amazing. And you were already
I'm
working
telling you.
there, and then you got extra
Yeah,
from the Alawi. Is it not quite
they just,
interesting that at the end of was it like 2 months or 3 months pay, it was now 50K or something like that?
no, no, it was the final year that we were leaving. Like I can
The
remember
final pay,
vividly.
Abby?
The final month
Yeah.
that we were leaving, that was when they increased the money. So we were lucky to collect twice. So they paid us the money twice. So I think we collect the arrears. I think they signed it, maybe they signed it into law the months before.
Yeah.
So we had, I think it was 66K now. I remember vividly. Yeah, 66. So yeah.
I was like, wow, the people that are coming after, they're going to flex. Because all I had was just that 17 whatever. And then it just
Bro.
doubled or tripled overnight. I was like, wow,
Yeah, I
that's
think it went to
crazy.
30, it went to 33. Yeah, it now went to 33. And that was the one that we now collected at the end. So they
Yeah.
now doubled it, which made it 66. So yeah.
And what was that like for you? Now you're done with NYSC. I mean, there's basically you're just left to life at that point. There's no one telling you anything to do. Okay, now were you still working at the school, or did you have to move on to something else?
Yeah, I was working at the school while obviously applying to other companies, like applying for graduate trainee. So yeah, I was still working at the school. Yeah.
Because I'm trying to establish a timeline on how from NYC you discovered IT. What was that connection like? How did you find that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, while applying, you don't even know where you're applying to. Like whenever you see the word graduate train, before you even see that trainee, you already sent your CV. So I know, right? So once you see anywhere graduates, you don't even check the job. I remember back then I wasn't even checking the job description because then I was desperate, like because obviously the school money was definitely not enough.
Yeah.
Like not going anywhere. So then I was like, guy, I did testing in all those big four, PwC, Deloitte, Ernst and
Wow.
Young. Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
literally all of
I
them.
got rejected by all of them. Yeah.
Same here, man. Same here. I got rejected by all of them. So many tests with banks too, UBA, like their sales, graduate training, and all of. Like I just want to leave that school terrain. And then I was lucky to get the place. FinTrack software actually. I saw the opening. I applied. Numerous interviews. I remember back then. And there was actually something that happened. I remember back then when I was processing the interviews, like the FinTrack application from one stage to another. I actually got another. There was another place that I applied. I actually also got in. It was actually a gold company, like a company that deals into buying and I think they were into buying and selling of gold and all of that.
Really?
And at least, that was actually a bit. That was even related to geology because all of us that were there, we're all geologists. Really, we're all
Uh-huh.
geologists, really. But then I was doing that. I was processing that, also processing the IT gig. But my own is anyone that comes, like definitely I'm going with that one. So it's not like I planned for IT. Although I've been hearing IT. I remember back then I've also watched one or two videos, HTML, CSS. Like it was just for watching sake, just for knowing sake. But it's not something I had passion really. Although in my interview I told them I had passion for it, obviously, just so they'll be convinced. But not something I had passion, like I was passionate about
Yeah.
doing then. So and then it clicked. I completed the interview, everything worked out, and that was how the journey started, really.
It's almost like the stars just always align for. I know that might be ignorant of me to say because of course there's a lot of things that will happen in between.
Yeah, sure.
But everything always just seems to work according to good generally.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like it was predestined. It's almost like everything that has happened in life since you were like young was just to lead you to that very moment, literally.
I'm telling you,
Even the
sincerely, I'm
decision of
telling you.
your dad to move to Ikodu probably also influenced all of those things happen to lead you to that very moment.
Like I'll be sincere with you. That decision was my turning. Like it was points, not even mine, even my siblings too. Because so growing up at Ogile Igomu, that was a local, like not no, it was a local area. Like it's not a place really, not a place where you want to really bring up a child because of the setting. When I say setting, I mean the compound, your friends, because obviously most of the people there, they are not that they are not educated, but majority of the people there are actually not educated. So if you are not well grounded, you most likely end up being maybe an agbero or being one of these street guys.
Yeah.
All these street boys now
Yeah.
just walk around and all of that. So the tendency of ending up in such places is actually very high, like very, very high. So moving to Ikorodu, like kind of like made things easy for us, like made us focused, like same focused and we know where we're going to. We have a direction because I think back then, really it wasn't like that. So that move to equal. See, let me even shock you then. I think back now you can see that my accents, my English is not so fluent and all of that. See, if not for the fact that we even moved to Ikorodu, I think this pidgin I'll be using to talk with you really because
Really?
back then English K guy. I think like coming up from such setting, pidgin, like we're using pidgin to talk to my parents. My dad was using pidgin to talk to me because, like I said, he didn't go to school. My mom too, pidgin. We grew up, and I'm even a Delta guys. We actually used to this. We call it Swafi. So we talk is pidgin. Second primary school, well, we speak one or two English in class, obviously, but obviously once we're outside, we fall back
Pigeon.
to
Yeah.
default setting. So going to like leaving that Ogile setting and then moving to Ikorodu. Now going to school, like going to my secondary school, and then I was seeing people talking and then they're just speaking English, like just spraying English here and there, and I'm like, what's going on? Like I'm not used to this now. Like what's all this? So the mentality changed. I had to pick up. I had to start. Obviously, I can't be like why my classmates are communicating using proper standard English. Me, I will now be using pidgin. So then, although it was very very like my English then was bad. Like I was just there's something they call tabon. Like I
Yeah,
was just
Otabo
taboing
or
everywhere.
Abula.
Guy, I was in master class when it comes to that. Like I was just but I wanted to like my goal was like I wanted to learn. I was ready to feel among. So it got to a point, obviously I started picking up, and so in a way moving to Ikodu was a see, that was just that was it really. That was what changed all of us, our mindsets
Yeah.
about life and all of that.
Wow. That's we really have to appreciate our parents. Really. The
Yeah, we do
decisions that
really,
they
we do.
make. Like I totally relate with your Ikodu story because I also moved to Ikodu. And when we moved, there was no
Yeah.
fence. The ground was mud, literally. When we moved into the house. I grew up in Kate all my life till I was 15 years old. I wrote Jamb one on a Wednesday or something like that. That Saturday we moved to Ikorodu, to our house. It was just a deck and the walls were not painted. There were trees growing all around the house. There was not even upstairs. Now there's upstairs. Now we live upstairs. And the upstairs is just so beautiful and much. But it took us 5 or 6 years. Yeah, it took us 6 or 7 years before we could even move upstairs. There was no water. Like we had to go to the neighbor. Like it was just so tough, basically. But I really appreciate the steps
Yeah, really
that were
see.
taken because
Look
what you said about your environment, all of the other kids in that estate, even though it's an estate, but it's a bush. It's not estate anything. It was just
yeah.
forestry we were doing there. But all of the other kids, they were all WAEC. All the staffs, they were WAEC staffs. They're working in WAEC. So all of the other
Wow.
kids were WAEC kids also. And the mindset was just different. The mentality was just different. People we interact
Yeah,
with was
yeah, to
different.
change.
Like
Definitely
one of
change.
my friends that I met that we were in the estate together. Now he's in Australia. We talk about even from back then, we're talking about like different things. So it's like the things you even talk about to an extent. To an extent, not everybody shall, but at least the mindset is just different from K2 that I was in where, you know, it was just a different setting. So I totally relate to go on what you were saying. I totally relate to what you're saying, basically. You wanted to say something earlier.
Yeah.
You wanted to say something earlier about Ikorodu.
No, like it's actually similar setting really. Like a similar setting. When we moved into like the home where wasn't painted. Yeah, it wasn't painted really, and everywhere trees, bush, like I mean, it was crazy. Oh. And I remember then snakes. I mean that
Mm,
place like snake then like constant visit.
yeah.
Like
I saw Snake for the
I
first
remember back
time.
then,
I
there's
ran
this
away.
snake. There's this particular same here, oh, really. Oh. I think there's this particular snake when we moved in that was visiting us every single day for over like a week plus.
What was it
When
like?
we
Is
moved
it
in,
is it those long green
I think that was the
snakes?
like I think we moved in on was it a Saturday? No, it's black, oh, long black snake guy. And then it's us, coming from Orile. You know how Orile is. You won't see a single grass in Orile now because that place is open. So where do you want to see snake? Like where is the snake even going to stay? I don't understand. So that's not even possible for you to see snake. Really, because that place everywhere is opened. So going to Ikodu, moving to Ikodu, guy, every day that snake was just coming. Like we'll see it on the fence today, the following day we'll see it beside the fence, and us, we've not seen snake before.
Yeah.
Guess what? When we saw the snake the first time, we were praying. Guy, we were just fire. Go back to sender. Man, guy, it was crazy, man. We've not seen this before now. So to
Yeah.
us, it's somebody that sent it. So back to sender, back to sender. That's how we pray. Every day. The following day again, we saw that same snake. See, I think my dad. My dad. Like I think my dad was sleeping at the office. Like wasn't coming back home then. So when he came back over the weekend, we told him about it, and I think it was the Saturday man, this man just he made up his mind though. Because that snake visited us like 5 days. You know that I think the snake was living with us literally. And then we weren't going out. We weren't like we're not going out. Yeah, I think it was. So I think my dad just made up his mind that when we told him, like, and he was like, nah. So he just stayed close to the window. I remember that day vividly. I can remember what happened. My dad just stayed close to the window. We already kept like those long planks by the side. So my dad was just waiting. It was just there because we know that the snake will definitely come out. Like, because we usually see that snake every day. So my dad was there for hours. Like, it was just front of the window. It wasn't moving, no. It was just there. Just, just seeing the view, just like chilling. And we were also gisting. But he was just there, just waiting, just, being patient. And then we just shouted, "Snake!" And then he ran out. He brought out the wood. And the good thing is the snake was now on the fence. So in a way, it was easy. So my dad just used one very long plank and then just hit the snake on the head, I think. So the snake fell to the other side of my compound. Yeah, to the other side. And then we all ran out and the fence. So we all ran out and that place too was bush, but we saw the snake there. It was still there. So my dad was just hitting the snake till eventually he killed it. And I think after that day, we all became relaxed because I think it was the first week that we moved in. It was hell. It was hell. That first week was crazy. We all just scared. And we even told my dad that we are going back home. That wants to go back to really that we can't stay here and all of that. But after we killed that snake, I think we all now became real. Although we still over the years we are still seeing snake, but it wasn't. We are now used to it. Like we got used to it. Whenever we see them, we try to kill them, and some of them we killed, some of them escaped. But snake was a constant threat for us. There, guy. Like snake, we are seeing snakes.
That was the first time I also saw snake, and when I saw it, I was like, no, I'm not part of this one. I was still in Unilag then. Yeah, I was. Yeah, what do I mean? I was still in Unilag then. Of course, I was still in Unilag. I was in Ikodu before I went in, and I was supposed to go back to school. I think that's Friday or that Saturday or something like that weekend, chat. And I saw the snake. It was a thin, long green snake. I was very scared. Very scared. Thankfully, the neighbor killed it, but I told my parents that a snake in the house, so me, I cannot go inside the house. So that I don't. I locked the door, so it, like the snake could not go away from that room. But later they were not like, this snake is not even the poisonous type. I was like, I don't care. Yeah, I don't know which one is which. Exactly. I don't know which one is which. I beg go. It's not me that will become test record that you used to know which one is poisonous. Yeah, so I'm going back on track. You did interview with the IT company. I have one very important question. What gave you the mind to do interview with IT company? Because it's IT. You expect the work to be IT related, but you didn't really have IT background. So how did that click? Because they probably, like for them, they're probably looking, what was the requirement for them? Were they looking for someone that was IT background, or they were more flexible with their requirement?
Yeah, not necessarily IT background. It's a graduate training program. So I think the company was open to any background. Okay. Yeah. But they just needed to see that you're interested, like it's something that you want to do.
Okay.
So yeah, they weren't particularly concerned about your the course that you studied in school or your background, or they were not. They just wanted to know that okay, you're someone that you want to learn because it's a graduate training, they will teach you. So it's not like you're an IT personnel or you know it, you don't know it. So they will train you and all of that. So yeah.
Okay, so
the interview was just basically normal graduate training interview questions. But I think there was one of the interview that we still did.
No, I'm listening.
Yes. So one of the interview that we did was actually tech related, where they were asking us, what do you know about HTML? What do you understand by CSS? So obviously before then I've gone to read up on those other aspects, because they told us technical interview. So when I read the interview guidelines, I knew that they were going to ask these questions. So I went to read up on those things, and then when they asked me, yeah, I think I was good.
You prepared excellently.
And I had no choice because I was desperate, man. I was desperate to get something then.
Because I remember when I think I was, of course we were done with this was after NYC. So I was done with NYC. I was just wait because at that time gotten my I've already know that I'm coming to Finland. But I was just, like I think we started talking. No, we actually started talking after I came to Finland. But I found out that you were like doing IT and everything, and I was so impressed because our other classmates also,
Yeah,
they were also like moving to IT and all that.
IT. Yeah.
And it's just like a different world where I don't understand it, but I know just the barest minimum. So it's not like I won't say I know it at all because we did a little bit in school in 200 level. So that's just the little mindset. And it was just a different language. It was just like a different world on its own. And when I see people like you from the course that I did, and then you guys switch lanes to IT, it was just like you guys watching you guys do magic at that point. And I understand that you did it because of necessity. But was there any doubt in your mind, any lingering thought that can I really do this?
Yeah, so when we started the training, yeah, they explained what this tech and everything is all about. I think it's something I just fell in love with. Like it's something I wanted to do. Although initially the classes were it was as if they were teaching us Chinese, like a new
Yeah,
language.
yeah,
So because I was lost. When I say lost, I mean lost. But then seeing that it was something new, something interesting, yeah, I fell in love with it, and that was where I just picked up. So it was something that when they initially there was no passion. I just wanted to get a job, a high-paying job. That was the goal. But when they start taking us those classes and all of that, yeah, I just fell in love with tech.
that's beautiful. And right now you are before we get to the present, right? Um, it permits you to consolidate the past up to now the present. What would you say is the moral lesson that's stuck with you all through the stage of university life to the present? The moral lesson that okay, this is this thing that I constantly like stuck with, this mindset that I stuck with that got me through different stages, different phases that helped me to overcome those stages.
Yeah, so for me personally, right? I think the mindset was I know where I'm coming from. Definitely, I can't mess up. Like, see, that was the mindset, guy. You're coming from an average background in terms of my family. Like, we're not rich, although we're not poor, but even the average too is not that average.
Mm.
So I know where I'm coming from. So definitely, my goal is just to make my life better and also make the life of my family better. See, that was my mindset from university, even down to this moment that I'm even like speaking to you. It has always been making my life better and also that of my family. So I always have that at the back of my mind from university down to NYC. Even I remember back then when I was still looking for a job, I was so desperate because I know I was done with school. So it's now time for me to at least pay back what my family did, at
Yeah.
least start supporting them because the school, the pay wasn't good. It wasn't encouraging. So the mindset was just, guy, you know where you're coming from. You need to push. No one is coming to say, this is it. No one is coming to save you. That's it. No one is coming to help me. I'm on my own. Because my family, they've done their part. My dad and mom, they've done their part. They've sent me to school. They've trained me from primary school down to university. So now, knowing that I'm on my own, I have no choice, bro. I just have to succeed. Like it was
Yeah.
either you succeed or you succeed. There's
Yeah.
no
There's no
two ways.
yeah.
There's no failure. There's no path for failure,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
There's no path
Either you
for
succeed or you
that you are not going
succeed.
to. That path is not even there. So it's either you succeed or you succeed.
Mm.
So I had that at the back of my mind that I have to make it. I just have to get there. Just so I do well for myself and also do well for my parents. So yeah. That was just the motivation really. Nothing there was no, and also I think that's part of the professor also talking to, because that was also one day I will never forget. That woman I mentioned, she was just a part of my life really. That part where she spoke to me that I have to be the one, like she's seen me as being the one supporting my family. And I'll be sincere with you. Today, I think now I know why she actually mentioned that, because I think today I'm literally the one, not like I'm the one doing everything, no, but I'm like the go-to person. If my dad needs something today, lucky. If my mom needs something today, lucky. If they want to do anything at home, maybe that needs money, lucky. So in a way, that's how those are words like kind of like also pushed me to where I am today.
I'm happy for you, and it's not even
Yeah.
just today. I've always been proud of you. Of course, it started small from Lucky from school. I've always been proud of Lucky from school, and proud proud that you understood this complex language called like this Python or this CSC or whatever language, and then
Yeah.
you keep ascending, and I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of the things you've done, the things you've achieved,
Yeah. Thanks.
and in all of this accomplishment, you are just forever chill and humble. Like you always keep this perfect balance between being out with the guys and doing everything, and you being true to yourself. It's like, and you know what's so amazing? It's sometimes you find people that try to keep the balance, but they are a little bit tilted towards the edge of one side or the other. I'm actually proud of you and the things you've come to achieve. You have no idea how people like you encourage us in our own little way, like, of course, not be say we they always look what another person they do, like, but still sometimes you just look at someone's status, or you think of, okay, Lucky is doing this, or this guy is doing that, this guy is doing this guy is doing that. And you're like, okay, if this guy can do this, then I can too. Like as Lucky they go doing wonderful tech things now. Me too, I want to apply for like a tech school and be in that world also. So little, say when I talked to you also about my brother doing some, and I also like from then till now, I still owed
Yeah.
like that okay, Lucky did it. I can do it also. So I'm just incredibly proud of you. And I'm sure you're also proud of yourself in your own way, the things you've come to achieve. Even though, yeah, so there are still things in the front that you are going to
Yeah.
achieve, but still you cannot discount the things you've already achieved.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, just count your
Definitely.
blessings. Yeah,
Guy, looking back, trust me. Looking back to where I started and where I am today, like, guy, the gap is mind blowing, man.
yeah. Yeah, and that's interesting for everybody. It's like when you see the glow up, even from you, like even from 100 level. Of course, we from
Yeah.
before you like there was even glow up, but even from 100 level, like I see some glow up, like I see some glow up like Kemi or Mayowa, even Ugona. Like everybody has grown. Like even you say everybody don't glow up. Although you're always dressing very wonderful. So I don't really see the glow up, but
Look at this guy.
you glue up, Sha. You and the reason why I keep reiterating, because some of the listeners, some of the viewers, they'll probably notice a pattern of how I keep saying I'm proud of you. This that is like a cycle. It's because you handled the pressure, you stepped up to the calling, and you still want to do more. You are grateful, yes, but you still desire to
Yeah.
do more, to give back to your family. There is this what would I call it? There is this thing that most youths in Nigeria have. Some call it a burden, some call it responsibility, where they feel responsible. They owe it to their family to give back as a token of appreciation. Because, like, believe it or not, pension is not something that a lot of people rely on in our country. So a lot of parents, they're like, okay, I'm going to send my kids to school, and hopefully, in turn, they get to help people in the family. So when we are old, when we can no longer go out and hustle, our kids take care of us. That mindset, a lot of people struggle with that. What
Yeah,
say
true.
you? What say you about? Because that mindset also builds a lot of pressure for some other people, especially males. The pressure, because I remember in school we talk about some things like that, and I get to know that some people are even feeling immense pressure more than most of us. What say you about that mindset of this big pressure that is mounted on the youths of our times to be responsible for the family, so to say?
So can you come back with maybe I lost you for like 5 seconds there.
You know,
I think the network is a bit shaky.
there's this duty that youths feel as being next in line to be responsible for the
Yeah,
affairs of the family. Because for a lot of families, there is no pension, like no government or no employees giving you
yeah.
pension. It's not happening for a lot of families. Our parents, they send the kids to school, they do all they can to send the kids to school. And a lot of families, especially the youth, they feel this weight that, okay, now my parents have done their part. It is my turn. Emi lo kan. It is my turn to do my part, to basically be held responsible for the affairs of the family. You've gone through that, and now you're in that position now, by God's grace, to be able to take care of your family. What would you say to those out there that are struggling to fill in that shoe, just as you've done?
Okay. Yeah. So now I think one thing about me is why like growing up, I'm actually a Catholic, so I attend mass a lot.
Mm,
So one thing I did was I ensured that everything I was doing, God is always I always please God first. Like I do that. Like I don't play with that really. So whatever it is that I was doing then, I was praying and believing God will come through for me. Now, for those that are maybe going through those pressure, those mental pressure and all of that. Now, the first thing that me I would advise is please God first. Like place everything in God's hands. Just put everything in his hands. Hand it over to God. That's just hand it over to him. Now that's the first step. Now, the next step is now you doing your part. Now, God is going to take charge of your life, of everything about you. Now, the part of you doing your part, that's just all that's required. Now, once you do your part, I think everything in a way magically falls into place. So the thing is, once you have that belief that you're going to make it, I don't think anything is going to like stop you really. So like me now, for example, I in a way I don't think I ever I doubted myself like many times, but I'm this positive guy. Like I'm this guy that I'm so positive about whatever it is that is going to happen to me in my life. Where others are saying it's not going to work out. Sincerely, me, I'm saying, see, there are even some exams that we did back then in school that I did poorly in those exams. Like I like poorly, like so poorly. But then I was so positive that guy, anyhow, I will make it at least. And me, I had that belief that guy, I'm not going to have any carryover in this school. So the next thing is believing in whatever it is that you're going to do, trusting yourself, believing yourself, and yeah, not letting go. So the thing is, put God first, do your part, and believe you're going to make it. And I think the sky is the limit, like really, because in a way, if you're doing your part, if you're pushing, and you're having that constant reminder of where you're coming from, and you're pushing towards it. I don't know how it happens, but nature kinds of like just lay things out for you, like just lay things out to happen for you. Now, many a times it might not be so good, but trust me, you just need only one positivity to just happen in your life. Now, that's another thing that I did while I was applying for job. See, I applied to thousands of jobs then, but me, I was just looking for one yes. I know I'm see, I was just guy there. I remember my mail that year, guy. Unfortunately, see, you can read 10 of my mail then, and the only thing you'll be seeing is unfortunately. But me, my own is I need only one yes. And that was how the company that I worked with, Fintrack, just came in. So, assuming I had given up then, trust me, I don't think I'll be here. I think I'll still be working in a secondary school, maybe still collecting maybe 35, 40K. Assuming I had given up, and then I'm like, okay, you know what? I've tried, and let me just definitely now I'll still be working in secondary school now, and maybe be collecting, maybe they would have increased my money to like 50K. Yeah,
Mm.
or something. So I guy, that was just not my plan. I had a goal that guy, I need to make it. It's a must. I'm not going to give up. Then I was the only one. I don't think there was anyone, although the professor did our parts,
Yeah.
like supporting me in school then. But you see the parts, like from then to where I am now, guy, it has always been my push. Like I've been, even my masters, I'm even currently doing, like that I mentioned, I'm actually running my masters.
Yeah.
I'm the one sponsoring myself. No one is paying 5 naira for me or anything. So to me, just if you have that pressure behind you, use that as your motivation. That was what I did. I had that pressure, but I used it as my motivation. Obviously, my parents can be, at least they can be like going through what they are going through. And then I know that guy, if I push and I'll make it, I'll make their life better. Why give up?
Mm.
I don't guess. Why give up? Why relent when you know that you can get there, you will get there one day. So I don't know. That's it really for me. God first and not giving up. I know people see all these things as motivational talk and motivational speech,
Mm.
and oh, you're just trying to motivate me and all of that. But that's the truth, bro.
It's
I'm
a
telling you for
principle of
free. That's the
life.
truth. I'm not trying to motivate anyone, really.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it as it is. Exactly. It's a principle. If you don't give up, it's not, I'm not motivated, but if you don't give up, you will, like one day, you don't need, you don't need 50 years. It's only one day that
Mm.
everything will fall into place. And once that day comes, trust me, the rest is history. But if you give up before that day appears, the rest is still history. So I think it's all about, and another thing again, improving yourself. Don't don't stay don't feel comfortable like while at a place. I think that's another thing I did. While I was working with, I remember then when I was working with Track guy, I think I worked with Track for, they were training in me, like I was going, I was undergoing training then, but guy, I was still looking out there, trying to see or to get better opportunities, like to better myself, especially as a software engineer. You have to keep improving. So that's another thing. I was looking out there, still applying for contract gigs. I think I got one that wasn't even paying me then. I was working for free, but I was learning
Mm.
because obviously FinTrack was teaching me one aspect, but going out there, I was learning something different, something new. So it got to a point where going for interviews became like easy for me. Why? Because I've gotten experience from so many places. So that's another thing. If you can learn from different areas, different aspects, when you go for that job interviews or for that call or something, it will be very, see, when you're giving them your experiences, like things that you've done or places that or things that you've done, places you've
Yeah.
been, things that you've built and all of that, guy, they
They'll be so
like,
amazed.
we can easily convince them,
Yeah.
really can easily, yeah, they'll be so amazed. But imagine just saying only one thing, like just sticking with one thing, and you're like, guy, I don't understand. Didn't you do other things? Were you just focused on this particular aspect? So that's another aspect also. Growing, learning, keep building yourself. You don't know the opportunity that will come one day. Who knows when the opportunity comes, you'll now be regretting. Why didn't I read this thing? Why didn't I study this thing then? So the more you keep building yourself, that's life. You don't know the opportunity that is waiting in front of you. So you
Yeah.
have to keep learning, keep building yourself, and not relenting.
That's a
Don't
fact.
give up. That's
So in summary, your powerful message is do not give up. Do everything you can that is within your control and leave the rest for God.
Yeah.
And then everything will fall according
Guy,
to place.
see, the first thing is lay perfect. I think you just summarized it.
That's just the
Once you have
principle
that
of life.
belief, I think everything will one day fall into place.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'm telling
the
you.
lucky of now, right now, because we followed this timeline, we followed your story all the way from that guy that used to go and play football and used to cause wahala for not wahala, sha, but that used to that used to follow his passion of football to now being
at least give headaches.
yes, exactly. Little headaches here and there. Little hypertension here and there. And now you are the I don't want to just say man of the house because your father is still the man of the house basically, but even your older brother is also there. But you are assuming responsibility and you are even proud of contributing to the well-being of your family. What's the next step for you? You are currently in school, trying to get better, trying to evolve. Outside of that, what's the next step for you? What are your foreseeable goals you see yourself accomplishing? Either career-wise or personally, or it could be anything. What's that next step for Lucky?
Yeah, personally, right, next step is settling down. I think that's the next step.
Settling down, like
God's grace, I think.
getting
next
married,
year.
you mean?
Yeah, that should happen. Although currently, yeah, getting married.
Okay.
Yeah, but let me even shock you. The funny thing is, I'm currently single. I think I just ended the relationship.
What?
I just ended the relationship in February. A relationship that lasted for over 2 years. Yeah, ended it. Yeah, ended in
We are
February.
referring to
But
the
then,
lady I was in
like my
contact
goal
with,
was,
right?
or my plan was,
Are we referring to the same lady I was in contact?
same lady. Yeah,
Wow.
we're no longer together.
I'm so serious to hear that.
Yes. I know, right? That's life now. I know, right? So yeah, so my goal has always been settling down next year. Shitabi.
Yeah. Yeah, I did hear you. You still there? You dey hear me? You feel hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Alpha, you feel hear me? You feel hear me? You feel hear me? Hello? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I don't know why before it was like you couldn't hear me. No vex, we done the wrap up now. We'll be done in like five minutes or so. So
No issue.
believe me, I was really rooting for you guys. This is coming as a shock, basically. It is well, man.
Hello?
Yeah, I did.
Now life now. If it's not good, when you discover that it's not going to work out, what do you do then?
So what's that next step for you?
Yeah, so that was one of the next steps for me personally, settling down. Then career-wise, currently I'm building 2 or 3 applications, not just me, I and some of my colleagues. So we are building some standard applications that we are looking to take into the market. So I think we started January. So the goal is, at least between now and the next 5 years, is to ship this application out to. It's actually an application that will be used by most of these financial houses, like banks and all of that. So we started. So the goal is we are going to maybe ship it out next year, and yeah, basically on a startup. Like, I think we are just 5 in number, and like the application that we're building, trust me, is something that is a fraud monitoring application actually, that at least, and with AI embedded into it. So this is an application that we know.
It's
so this is an
interesting you
application that we
mentioned
know
that
that.
because my next question after that is implementation of AI, the use of the APIs and all that to do what you do.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a like machine learning, like integrating machine learning into the application. So we've actually started it, and we actually have a goal. So the plan is for us to come up with a startup, maybe push these products out there, market it, maybe sell it out, and yeah, keep on building. And the goal is for us to, because obviously we can't be working for people out there. Trust me. There's something that someone said. If you think you want to become rich working 9 to 5. Like that, you're deceiving yourself. Really, that was what the person said. You need to build up a business. You need to have something by the side. So that's actually what we are. We are all working. We all have jobs that we're doing, but weekends we come together. We assign tasks, and then we come together. We build whatever it is that is being assigned. So the goal is for us to build something, market it out there, and yeah, we see how it goes. So that's my plan, me personally, is me seeing myself as, in a position where I have applications out there that are being used by thousands of personnel, owning my own business, right? Although not just me, I and my colleagues having our own business, employing employing developers to also come work for us, building more applications, because obviously the world is growing almost on a daily basis. You can't tell me that they've built everything. So yeah, so that's the goal. That's
Yeah,
the goal.
that's
Having my own
amazing.
business.
That's amazing. And even a unique case, Africa as a whole, and also Nigeria specifically, it's like we technologically wise, there are a lot of things that we are slow to catch because of the
Trust
economy
me.
at large. So you still find that there's a lot of problems, even with the things you don't expect there to be problems with. And of course, where there's
Yeah.
problems, if you're able to solve those things, it can lead to, like, of course, success in business and things like that. So that's amazing. What would you say to
Yeah.
young Nigerians right now that are looking to get into IT? There's this temptation to just vibe code, right? And I'm totally guilty of that because I have no idea what's going on in that world of actually writing everything by hand. But you guys use more. You guys don't vibe code. Of course, you guys utilize the APIs and do some other things like that. But there's guys like me that are enthusiasts about your space, and then we do more vibe coding and things. What would you say to us? Should we just take it out for the hard learning and just grind, or there's a balance in between?
Okay, yeah. So I think the world is actually going into vibe coding, whether you like it or not. I think we are already there. Not that the world is even going into it. We are there already. Where developers don't write code. Okay, I'll be. I don't. I think I rarely write code these days. Really, I use AI for
Oh, okay.
most of the APIs I built. So what I just do is I give it the architecture. I give it the plan I want. Now, this is where the issue is for the young guys that are trying to go into tech. Now, if you now going into tech and you just want to go directly into vibe coding, trust me, like you're on the very wrong path, because AI can only do what AI can do. It still needs that human intervention. Now, I think there's actually an article that I read today where someone said he built an application, mad application, robust application. Application is working. The guy is making money. He said he's making millions out of it. Now, the developer that he worked with that built the application left. He brought someone new in, managing the application and all of that. And then the guy went into the code base, and the guy was like, "What is this? Like, who wrote this? Who did this?" So the last guy obviously vibe coded everything. Every single thing, the guy vibe coded everything. So the new developer obviously is more experienced. So the guy came in and then he was looking the code. And the guy was like, "Guy, who wrote this? Who is the person?" The guy said it took that guy over like 2 to 3 months for the guy to kind of like understand whatever it is that is going on. And even then, the guy was still struggling, because if the guy try to make one or two adjustments to this, it's going to break 5 other parts.
Yeah.
If the guy fix those 5 other parts, it breaks another part that is even not in any way attached to it. So now you can see where the basics comes in, which is where I would advise anyone that wants to go into tech. It won't cost you anything. Take 2-3 months. Learn. You see those HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Although maybe in the future you may still not be writing those guys, or maybe you may be doing Java or something. But those are the basics. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. If you want to go into Node.js, see, you don't have to start building Ogishi websites. No, just learn the basics. At least build one or two websites yourself. Don't vibe code it. Learn those few CSS. Don't learn everything, but just take your time. At least you do something for yourself. So when you want to start vibe coding and there are some changes that maybe AI created for you, you can easily adjust it.
Yeah.
Like you can see the code and then you feel like, no, guy, you can't have this here now. You give the prompt, oh no, don't do it this way. Do it this way. Because you understand how it should be. But if you don't have that background, you will just be accepting everything that AI is giving to you. So the advice is learn the basics. Even if you can build an application in one day, end to end, you can build everything in one day. But that doesn't mean that what you're building makes sense. You will make money out of it, but on the long run, it may come back to hurt you. So if you know the basics, you learn the architecture, you learn system design, at least that way you can design everything and then take it to AI. So AI will then build everything according to your architecture. So in case someone else, maybe next year or next 10 years, want to come into your code, they can easily understand whatever it is that is going on. So that's the thing. Learn the basics. And then obviously you will still vibe code. Like I mentioned, I'm vibe coding currently. I don't write any. See, if you give me something today, trust me, I'm not going to waste my time going to the code looking for it. I will give AI the prompts, and whatever it is that AI gives to me, I will read through it. Because there are some tools that you use, like Cursor now, for example. Cursor is one of them. So before you accept it, what I do is I'll click on each of the code base that Cursor gave. I will just, not that I'm going to read everything. I'll just scan through it. Oh yeah, this is good. Check the next one. But imagine I don't know the basics. What will I do? I will just accept everything now.
I totally appreciate what you said because I also use Cursor. Cursor and both, are they the same? Do they belong to the same?
Cursor and what?
No.
Both. So I don't know.
They are probably
both.
different.
I don't use both.
I tried Cursor and initially at the beginning, just at the early stage, and by early stage I mean the first 2 hours or so, I was like, okay, this is wonderful. But it got to a point where I just got lost. I was like, no, I can't. I just got like, I can't even continue this. But you personally, do you have a favorite LLM, or you just whichever one happens, whichever one you utilize?
I use all of. Okay, I have a favorite actually. I love Claude.
Most people love Claude. What's so special about Claude over even what Google them do? Because I understand that OpenAI is a bit lagging in some aspect, and Claude is. Most people are using Claude for enterprise.
In terms of so I've been vibe coding for over, let's say, 6 months now, 6 to 7 months that I've been vibe coding, really. So I've used all of them. I've used ChatGPT, I've used Claude, I've used Cursor. Now, Cursor is actually an ID that where you can use several agents. You can actually use Claude in Cursor. You can use ChatGPT in Cursor. These are the various agents in.
Yeah, there are different nodes Cursor. You can just connect them with.
Yeah. So for me, Claude is the best. Why? Because in terms of development, Claude, Claude, I would say, takes its time in understanding what you're trying to build. Claude doesn't just, you don't give the prompt and then Claude jumps into build like the way Cursor does. Once you put the prompt and you click on send, Cursor starts building. But Claude gives you a structure. Many times Claude will even tell you, do I do it this way? Do you want it this way? Do you want it as a clean architecture? So Claude is kind of like, is guided, is also guiding you into what you're building. So that's one beauty about Claude. And Claude really makes mistakes, but it's not so much compared to other agents.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, it's been I've learned so much from it's like I know you a little bit more from even just listening to your story, because I thought I knew you a bit, but hearing this backstory and seeing where you are currently, presently, I'm even more proud of you and the things you've come to achieve. And
Yeah,
I know
thanks.
I know in the future you are going to do even more things that blow all of our minds, and I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that to
that was the
happen.
goal.
Yeah,
We just have to keep improving. That's the
yeah.
goal. Yeah.
I just a little confession on my part. I've always known that, like as technology improves, we get more and more into tech and all that, because every day of our life might basically just be as a result of tech. So I was actually having a little bit of dilemma. Do I go for the business field, meaning like business administration or economics, then do my MBA, blah blah blah, or should I start from the basics in IT, then get like an MIT, then an MBA, or something that I was thinking, and I was as of last week, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do IT instead. Even speaking with you now, it has reinforced my choice to go into IT, because
Yeah, if it's
there's a problem we have in Nigeria economically. Now I'm not talking of as a nation. I'm talking of these SMEs out there, the small businesses, the mom and pop stores. There's a lot of businesses run by older guys now that now they want to retire. There's no one to pass on the business to. And you
yeah,
come to
yeah,
find out
true.
that a lot of those businesses, the problem will be solved if they were integrated via tech. So it's like you see a lot of these problems occur over and over and over and over and over and over again. And that just
Yeah.
took me to a place where when I was in diploma then, I was still in diploma then. And there is this guy in YX. He's in charge of utility, like generator, and anything that has to do with like the generator or something like that, and the power to the building is the one in charge of it. And he came to meet me one day. He was like, "You have a laptop, right? That can you teach me how to use a computer?" I was like, why is generator man want to use computer? Like it doesn't make any sense to me at that time. And it was like, WAECAS, in a way, they have given a mandate that every employee, even a generator man, they said every single employee should be accustomed to, including generator man. And
Wow.
it just now when I remember that, I was like, actually, in the future, it's going to even be more.
Yeah.
It's not even just going to be the basics. It's going to be there'll be with AI. There's no telling where all of this could go. It's going to be more and
I'm
more and
telling you.
more prevalent in
And
our
if you are
lives.
not part of it, trust me,
You
you're going
just
to
basically
lose.
be left behind with
Yeah.
like some
Maybe
parents
left behind, really.
that ask the kids, "How do I do this? How do I do?" Basically, if you don't
Yeah.
integrate, you just basically become one of them. So you've
Yeah.
inspired me. This I know definitely, and I know for a fact because you've inspired me. You've definitely there's no one listening to this story that wouldn't be inspired. Not just because of the story, but because also in a way we all see a bit of you in ourselves. Because we have this,
Yeah.
in somehow we have this shared story. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Our stories are not that so different.
The same. Yeah.
Yeah, they're sure there's variations here and there, but
But
for
there are
the most, yeah,
similarities.
there's similarities. So we are all happy for you. Me and the people you've never met before, and the people I've never met before. We are happy for you. And yeah, at Taftoby, we make it a tradition to invite each guest a total of 3 times across 20 years. So we hope that when we call on you 7 to 10 years from now, and we are cheering you on because we know you are going to achieve great things, and really lucky. You have no idea how happy I am to see where you are today. It's really, really amazing. And I pray that
Yeah,
the
thanks.
sacrifices you've made, the universe, one way or the other, will just keeping you and making you progress. And whatever good you've done for people, because I know you've done a lot of good for a lot of people, that somehow, somewhere, someday, even if the good doesn't return to you, it returns to those that come after you. So thank you very much for taking your
Yeah.
time. You have right now here it's past midnight, and your side is approaching midnight. You have no idea how important your story is. Really, I feel so emotional because I remember us back then in Jaja, and now look at where we are. Especially you look at where you are.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate your growth and I appreciate your story. So
Yeah,
thanks a lot for
you
sharing your
also
story
did
with
good.
us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really, you too. You're also not doing bad. Really, like I remember back then too, and look at where you are now. Like, guy,
We are where
yeah,
you
you're doing
left
good.
me, oh
Really,
my brother. We are where you left me.
we are proud of you. We here in Nigeria. We're actually proud of you. Like, really, like seriously, you're
Thank you
doing
very
good.
much.
You're doing good for yourself, man.
I appreciate it. Friend, I saw your status. Is it the same Fife that we know or is another Fife?
Yeah, yeah, it's the same. It's the same. Like
Is
we're all shocked. Like when he dropped it, we all shocked that guy. How come? Like guy,
yeah.
how you take to like how did you even toast the babe really? Because first is this
Is this
reserved guy really?
yeah, is people think I'm shy, but I think Fife is okay, no, Fife is not that shy, actually, now that I think about it.
But it's just FIFA is kind of like he's
Is
reserved.
reserved,
He has his
yes.
own
Is
clique. He
reserved.
has his
Is
own
reserved,
guys.
yes.
If FIFA is not talking to you, he's not talking to you.
Yeah, because I've spoken
That's
with
it.
Fife quite a number of times back in school, and I know he's not shy. Because I used to roll with Chima them also, and he speaks a lot with Chima, things like that. But yeah. And our guy also, Karim.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw videos. I saw
So
videos.
everybody is evolving in their own way, and I'm
I'm
just
telling you.
so happy for everybody. But today's about you. This story is about you. So thank you very much for sharing. And is there any message you'd like to leave for your future self? That you check this again 10 years from now, and it will still ring true. Yeah, for your future self, is there any message you'd like to leave for yourself?
Yeah, for my future self, 10 years from now, I would say lucky, be good, do your best. Don't forget where you're coming from. Don't forget those that supported you. Even those that did not too. Still don't forget them. Because they are also part of the story, really. Yeah. Um yeah, I think that's it.
That's amazing. Thanks a lot for coming on the show. As you've heard it,
Yeah, thanks so much for
we at
having me.
Taftoby, this is the kind of stories we love to share. And if this story touched you like it touched me, you can just leave a comment. You can share with your friends. We at Taftoby, we wish you adieu, au revoir.